Welcome to Vlogmas Day 11.
Chestnut roasting.
So I thought for today's video, I would try something out. I love television, and I thought because I love television so much, I thought that I would do a little bit of a favorites video. I thought for this video, I would talk a little bit about my top favorite TV shows of 2018. I made a list a little bit earlier today and I came up with 15 TV shows. These are shows that either, Mail's here, these are shows that either aired during 2018, whether that be a first season or it just aired whatever season at some point in 2018 that's like still running, or a show that I watched for the first time in 2018. I have a lot of favorite shows. Pause for cough. I have a lot of favorite TV shows that have ended. My favorite TV show of all time, Orphan Black, has ended, so that won't be in the mix. And I have a lot of shows that have been gone for a while, shows that I grew up with. These are just the top 15 shows that I watched in 2018. If you have not seen any of these shows, obviously because they're on my favorites list, I highly recommend them. There has been such good television this year. Here we go. So the first one I wrote down, I kind of went through the year and just like was looking at things that I have talked about and shows that I have enjoyed. The first one I wrote is One Day at a Time. One Day at a Time is a Netflix original series. It is a reboot of a show that was on years ago, decades ago. They really brought it into 2018. There's so much amazing representation, so many great characters. It's got that sitcom feel, just so good. Just such a good show that I would highly recommend. That's my review. It's good. Number 2, I wrote Grace and Frankie. Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin, dynamic duo. The show is great. They're great. I adore them. I can't believe I mean, this year was so long. I feel like I haven't watched it in a while, but I was going through shows, and yeah, I was watching Grace and Frankie at the beginning of 2018. I don't know if there was a new season that was released at the beginning of this year, or maybe I was just watching it, but that's on my list of shows I loved this year. Obviously, it wouldn't be a favorites list if I didn't talk about Broad City. Broad City is, I mean, Abby and Alana are everything, and as a Jew living in New York, I mean, I just want them to be my best friends. I just want them to adopt me into their duo. It's so good. I've loved it for so long, and obviously it had to go on this list. I didn't mean for this to be a review of shows. I'm just kind of listing my favorite shows. So if my review for every show is just like, it's good, this is a good show, sorry. And this is in no order or anything. This is kind of like I went through starting in January and was just looking through shows that I loved, and I just kind of put them in that order. Obviously, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is definitely up there, one of my favorite shows of all time. That show, and I haven't even really been watching it that long, I think maybe a year or two, but I started watching that show and instantly I was like, this is gonna be an all-time favorite. It's just one of the best shows you'll ever watch. It just makes you feel so good. You will love every single character. That cast is great. Those characters are great. It is just my favorite thing. It's kind of the show that I watch for comfort. Like if I'm not really watching anything, I'm watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I'll like fall asleep to Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I love it so much. I can recite every episode at this point. It's so funny and so good. I did it again. Take a shot. Good, capital G. And I love all of them. Like I think it's the one show I watch where I really don't have a favorite, or one of the few shows I watch where I don't really have a favorite. I love them. They're my family and they raised me. My most viewed video on this channel is me reacting to Rosa coming out as bi, so maybe because I'm talking about Brooklyn Nine-Nine, people will watch this. Next, I wrote Black Mirror. So that was this year, right? Beginning of this year that I was watching Black Mirror. There was a point where I got really into it because they released a new season. Was that this year or was I just watching it this year? I don't know, but it's on my list. And true story, when I decided to go back, I guess that was this year, was it? I don't remember. This year has been so long, but I decided to go back and watch every single episode of Black Mirror. I think I missed a couple, but I watched the episode that Jodie Whittaker was in and fell in love with her on the spot. Like, before I even put it together that she was gonna be the new Doctor, I was like, oh my God, I love Jodie Whittaker, and now she's the Doctor. Yeah, Black Mirror. Black Mirror is so good. I'm so excited for the new season. It's so fascinating. It's just the kind of show that you watch and then you're up all night thinking about it and sometimes panicking about it because it's like, it's sci-fi and it's far-fetched, but it's kind of not, and that's what makes it so scary. Next on the list, another all-time favorite, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. This is another one of my all-time favorite shows. I talked in a past video about how Rebecca Bunch is like my character. She's so special to me. It's such an amazing show. The final season is premiering now. I'm a few episodes behind because I decided I think I'm gonna wait and just binge watch them. Like, I'm at a point now where I would rather just wait and binge watch a whole season or something instead of waiting week to week, which just shows how spoiled we've become in the way we consume media. Because for me, it was always like, all right, like we watch it and then we wait till next week, let's DVR all my shows. And now I'm like, I'll just wait till they're all there so I could just binge watch them. It's fine. We're living in the age of binge watching. It's just a thing. Next on the list is The Good Place. The Good Place is arguably one of the best shows on TV right now. It is brilliant. It is so clever and funny, and the characters, just kind of like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You just love them all. They're all great. Kristen Bell, I mean, the cast is so good and the show is so good. I'm so hooked on it. And I'm so glad that Brooklyn Nine-Nine and The Good Place are now on the same network, because that's the way that it should be. They deserve to be on the same network because Fox just did not deserve Brooklyn Nine-Nine. This is such a great time for comedy. There's a lot of really great comedy on television, and that's cool because I feel like usually my favorites would be like drowning in dramas, but I think there's a good mix, which just says a lot about how much good comedy there is right now in television. Okay, so then next on the list I put The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which I'm currently watching the new season right now, and the first season was amazing. I just get, when I watch it, I just feel very at home and cozy because all the vibes of it, of this like Jewish family, it just really reminds me of certain aspects of growing up, and so I just feel this closeness to it. The show is so awesome and the lead character is incredible. I love the way it's shot. I think it's so visually pleasing to me. It's just a very empowering thing to watch. Obviously the Mrs. Maisel character, Midge Maisel, is that her name? Yeah. Okay, so next on the list I have Broadchurch. I watched Broadchurch this year. If you're looking for something light, I don't suggest it. If you're looking for something really, really dark and really, really depressing, I highly recommend it. It is, but it's so good. Jodie Whittaker's in it, which is why I went to watch it, because this year I have been very obsessed with Jodie Whittaker. I discovered her this year on Black Mirror, and I've just been like watching everything she's done ever since, obviously leading up to Doctor Who, but her performance in Broadchurch was so good, and she was brunette and she was fantastic, and the show is really intense and really sad and really, really heavy. Like, there were some points where I was like, I need a break because it's so heavy, but really important and very, very British, and I loved that. So if you're watching Doctor Who currently, if you're a Jodie Whittaker fan and you haven't watched Broadchurch, I highly recommend it if you're in the mood to feel depressed. And she's phenomenal in it. She's so talented, and her accent is just everything. Let's be real. Watch it for her accent. Next on the list, we're at number 10 already. Okay, Jane the Virgin. So Jane the Virgin is amazing. My two favorite shows on the CW, I think the only two shows on the CW that I really watch right now are comedies, are Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and Jane the Virgin. It's so fun to watch. I went through a good couple of weeks, maybe even a couple of months this year, where I decided to just rewatch it and then catch up because I fell really far behind. So many big reveals, so many plot twists. It's so much fun, and also a lot of representation. Good, capital G. Highly recommend it if you're not watching. If you're not watching Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and Jane the Virgin, in my opinion, those are two shows on the CW that really deserve the views. Okay, next on the list, I'm trying to get this done before my battery dies, is Killing Eve. Killing Eve is a new show this year. It was this year, right? It wasn't last year? I don't know, but I watched it for the first time this year. But Sandra Oh in this big leading role, I mean, nobody deserved this more. Sandra Oh has always been fantastic, and it's so fun getting to see her in this role. The show is so smart and gay. I'm really excited for season 2, and I know a lot of people are, so definitely recommend giving that a watch. Next on the list is Wentworth. So Wentworth has been on for a while, but I decided to watch it recently because my best friend told me to, and it is very Australian, just like my best friend, and I fell in love with it very quickly. It's just a very me show. If you know me and you know the shows that I tend to gravitate towards, you know what I mean in that Wentworth being a very me show. But I fell in love with B. I fell in love with B. Smith, and I don't want to spoil in case anybody decides to watch Wentworth. It's very gay, but it was really intense. I really, really liked it. It was so Australian. I felt like I was there. I was like, I think I'm ready to visit Australia after binge watching this. It was so good, but it also destroyed my soul. And I think there's another season that happened. I haven't been able to watch it just because some stuff went down and I'm distraught. Okay, next one, we're almost done. So I put Buffy the Vampire Slayer on this list. Obviously that is not a show that aired in 2018, but for me, I'm experiencing it, was that English? I'm experiencing it for the first time. It's my best friend's favorite show of all time. She is having me watch it all the way through. I'm currently almost finished with season 5 and I'm very much enjoying it. My favorite character is Willow. She is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. I love Buffy. It's been a journey, and apparently it's gonna be even more of a journey. I don't know anything that happened, so please, if you're a Buffy fan, please don't spoil anything for me because that would be devastating. I've come this far without any spoilers, but I'm going on the Buffy journey. Wish me luck. So the final 2 shows that I have on the list, first out of the 2 is Sharp Objects. Really arguably my favorite thing that I've watched in 2018. It really, really moved me so deeply. Amy Adams in this role just crushed me. The character just crushed me. It's one of those stories and characters that I know I'm gonna hold in my heart forever, not to be cheesy. This series just really got me. It was so beautifully made. It was so beautifully acted. And Amy Adams, please give her all of her awards this season. She was so brilliant, just tore my heart apart. And then the final favorite show of 2018 that I have watched is The Haunting of Hill House. Obviously, Haunting of Hill House came out pretty recently. It was the last like new thing that I have experienced on TV in 2018, and I didn't know if I would like it. Everybody was talking about it because I'm not necessarily a horror person. I don't watch a lot of horror films. It's just never really been my thing, but I decided to watch it and I absolutely loved it. I actually watched it like twice, maybe even 3 times some episodes. It was the kind of horror where I feel like, because I don't really like jump scares, I'm not really into watching something with the intention of being scared. But this was so much about the family dynamic, and I think that's why I loved it so much. But those were my favorite TV shows that I've watched in 2018. There are so many other shows that either just like I didn't really watch this year or weren't new or have ended or whatever, but those are the ones that I've picked for this video. Also, I'm realizing I forgot to talk about Doctor Who, which like how dare I, but I've only watched the first episode of Doctor Who. I haven't watched the whole series yet, or the whole season, because I'm waiting until it ends so that I could just binge watch it like I've talked about. But I realized I forgot to put it in there, but that just automatically goes in there. As we know, Jodie Whittaker is everything. Bye! If you have any TV recommendations that you think I should watch going into 2019, please let me know because I'm always open to watching new things. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. So if you enjoyed me ranting about television for whatever minutes, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because Vlogmas continues. I will see you tomorrow. Bye!